Hi, it's Annette from needlepointers.com. I have a fun Valentine project for you today. A penny rug heart Valentine ornament with a woven heart. Whether you're looking to brighten up your home decor, add a handmade touch to a gift, or simply enjoy a relaxing do-it-yourself activity, this project is fun and easy to make. What you need to make this project are felt, red, pink, and white, ultra hold heat and bond, small buttons, fabric scissor, embroidery floss, needle, ribbon, pencil, thread, iron and ironing board, and the heart template. Let's get started now making the penny rug heart Valentine ornament. Download, print, and cut out the heart template. You'll find a link in the description to it. Use the template to cut 2 heart pieces from pink felt. Then also cut 2 rectangular heat and bond pieces, each measuring 1.5 inches by 2.5 inches. With an iron, adhere the heat and bond to a red felt piece. Cut along the edges of the heat and bond to remove the excess felt. Then round the top of one of the ends to form the top of the heart. Now on the paper side, measure 1.5 inches up from the bottom straight edge and draw a horizontal line. From the bottom edge to the horizontal line, draw 2 vertical lines spaced 1/2 inch apart to create the stripes. Then cut along the vertical lines to the horizontal line. Repeat this process with the second heat and bond piece and the white felt. Remove the paper backing from the red and white pieces. Place the 2 felt pieces together so they form a heart shape. We're going to begin weaving and start with the top strips closest to the rounded edge. To weave, we're going to first put these 2 back and bring the white to the front. Put this back down. So we're going over, under, and then over. For the next one, we're going to have the red going under the white strip, then the red will go over and then under again. As you're doing this, sometimes you have to pull it a little to line it up. Okay, and the last one, of course, the red will go on the top, and then the red is under and over again. Now again, as I said, sometimes you have to adjust it so that the weaving is done and the edges are even. There, this is what you want. Now, once in a while I find that I need to cut a little more of the line here so that it weaves better. But this is what it should look like when you have it weaved. Now, carefully center this piece on the top of your pink heart. Make any adjustments to it that you might have to, and then take it to the iron and fuse this woven heart to the pink heart. Thread a needle with 3 strands of pink thread and not the end. We're going to hand embroider a running stitch around the top of the heart, just this part. So I'm going to begin over here and just do a running stitch around the top of the heart. Now, because there's multiple layers here, and you also have the heat and bond, you may have to not use the sewing method. You might have to use the stabbing method to do the running stitch around. Okay, I'm going to go all the way around, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. After you've sewn the running stitch around, search your button collection for small red and white buttons. If you don't have buttons, you can use sequins and beads. Sew 1 white button onto each of the red woven squares and sew red buttons onto the white squares. To sew the buttons on, you can use the embroidery floss. Cut a piece of ribbon 10 inches long. Form it into a loop, turn your project over, and we're going to stitch the ribbon to the back of the project to hold it in place. You're using, of course, a needle and thread to do it, and you just have to stitch it a little bit to hold it there. Make sure that the stitching does not come through to the front. When you have it stitched down to the back, just make a knot. We're doing this to make sure that the ribbon does not come out after we blanket stitch around. Now take your second heart piece and put it on the back. This will hide, of course, all the stitching that you did. You can pin it in a few places. Blanket stitch around the entire heart using 3 strands of embroidery floss and starting on one side. I'm going to start it for you, but we do have a video on how to do the blanket stitch, which I'll have a link in the description. You need to knot the end of your embroidery floss to do this project. You're going to begin on one of the sides, and you're going to put the knot between the 2 layers. Then you're going to make a vertical line with the embroidery floss by coming up from the back into the same hole. Take your needle and run it along the edge at the top. That's your first stitch. And then you can continue. Just put your needle down. Here's a loop. Make sure that the needle goes into the loop and pull. Okay, I'll do another stitch for you. Into it. Here's the loop. The needle goes into the loop and pull. Okay, I'm going to continue to do the blanket stitch all the way around, and then I'll show you what the project looks like when it's finished. The penny rug heart ornament with a woven heart is now complete. It's really simple and easy to make. Here is a version I did using sequins and beads with the blanket stitch around the outside of the heart done with red embroidery floss. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Keep up with us by following us on Facebook, X, and Pinterest. Visit our website, needlepointers.com, for lots of other crafting projects. While you are there, sign up for our weekly newsletter, which informs you about new projects and tutorials.